All right. Hello and welcome everybody to In the Guard, your one-stop shop for everything combat sports and whatever the fuck Triller is. We will talk about that travesty on here as well. I am Mike.
I'm Tony.
And we are coming off the heels of UFC Vegas, Whitaker versus Gastelum. I can't remember which number it is yet.
It's 24.
24. The last one of the Apex era.
Last one. We're headed to Jacksonville, baby.
Yeah, man. We're opening her up, right? Opening it up.
One-way ticket.
It was fun. It was a fun night. I had some interesting stuff to talk about on this card, but it all starts with the main event of the Reaper, Bobby Knuckles, Robert Whitaker versus Kelvin Gastelum, and it was a fun fight to watch, but it was pretty one-sided.
It was a great fight. Robert Whitaker's just so goddamn good.
Well, there's levels to this shit.
Yeah.
I mean, and it kind of shows the middleweight division is kind of traditionally a weaker division. Like even like when Anderson was running roughshod on it, like. Because the bigger guys, they're up at 205, right? The big power hitters, they don't want to cut weight, and there's heavyweights above that. The more skilled technical guys, they cut down to 170 and lower. So that 185 is like a weird middle ground where there's not a lot of depth in it. And you kind of see the top of Whitaker and Izzy are really above everybody in that division.
Yeah, you notice like Gastelum essentially a welterweight,
right?
Choosing to fight at 185. And
he's almost got a lightweight body.
Yeah.
Like, he is small. Like, he's a hell of a fighter. Don't get me wrong. He was right there. He was standing up to Whitaker. Whitaker couldn't put him out. Standing up to him. Had some wars with Izzy himself. He almost fucking put Izzy out.
Oh, Gastelum makes it he's a dog, man. He makes it a fight every fight he's in. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but you're not putting him lights out. He's kind of like a better version of Mike Perry.
But I'm saying, like, even like Whitaker's not a big middleweight.
No. He was a welterweight.
Yeah.
He only became a middleweight because he couldn't cut no more.
At all. Yeah.
And that's kind of where it happens with middleweights. They're welterweights. They don't want to cut no more. That's usually what it is. But yeah, Bobby was on fire from start to finish, bell to bell.
I think he landed 54% of his strikes. His defense.
56, man. He's short of 2%. 56.
56%, and Gastelum landed 32% of his strikes. Yeah, I mean, it was.
And it's basically saying Bobby Izzy too. Let's do it.
Yeah, I think Whitaker's won 4 in a row, right? And Gastelum's lost 1 out of his last 5, or lost 4 out of his last 5. Yeah. Shit.
And like we kind of talked about this last week with Vittori. That's how you put on a performance to get a title shot. Yeah. Vittori, your resume kind of puts you in that. You're in that position for sure in the conversation, but you did not impress against Holland. Yeah. You basically held on for dear life. Yes, we know Holland has a wrestling flaw, and yes, it's a smart way to win it, but you are not going to jump above people and get title shots because you're not going to sell pay-per-views with fights like that.
Whitaker and Gastelum put on an MMA fight.
Right.
Like,
absolutely.
I mean, you got everything you could imagine.
All levels from head to toe.
Every angle, takedowns.
And those are 2 pros. I mean, they both had their trips through the Ultimate Fighter. They've been in the system forever. They've had their ups and downs, and they're still standing at the top.
And just the way Whitaker sets up that head kick off that 2-punch combo. It's like,
and I think the biggest thing is that Gastelum's at that in-between body guy. Like, there's these guys that don't really fit into a weight class. He'd be a great 165er.
Yeah.
If they had up 165 division, I think that's right where he can be. But again,
I mean, we obviously know where Whitaker goes from here, but what do you do? You know, like, he's shown that he can make it a fight with the best of the best, but he's not on the winning side of it.
Like, if you tell me right now, if he fights Kevin Holland, Kevin Gastelum beats Kevin Holland, right?
I mean, he's a more. I'd like to think
he's going to wrestle him. Like, Gastelum doesn't always wrestle people, but we saw versus Heinisch. If he has to go to that wrestling, he can do it.
He took Bobby down once, so.
Right. And we saw it again, like I said, against Heinisch, who's a high-level wrestler, and he was able to wrestle him the other round. Yeah. So maybe Hermansson's fighting Shabazian, right?
Maybe Gastelum gets the winner of Uriah Hall Weidman.
Or the loser.
I think he should deserve the winner, because they're 9 and 11.
He lost 4 out of 5 fights. He deserve a winner of a fight.
I mean, those guys, they're not exactly.
I was gonna suggest the loser of Shabazian and Hermansson.
Or maybe that,
the loser of that fight should get it, and the winner of
he lost to Hermansson. Hermansson heel hooked.
Because although Brunson's floating around, the winner of Hermansson and Shabazian should fight Derek Brunson. That should be. What's Cannonier doing?
Oh, I don't know.
He last fight was Bobby. Bobby put his lights out. Maybe Kelvin and Cannonier. I know it's going up, but Cannonier probably should be a little bit lower. Like, I would put Brunson above Cannonier.
Whitaker broke his forearm, so I think he was getting surgery on his his radius or zona.
That's even more reason why. Like, I'd probably have Vittori 3, Brunson 4, and maybe even have Hermansson at 5. Till should be at 5. Why is Till at 5? When's the last fight Till won?
It's been a while.
Yeah,
dude.
last fight he lost to Whitaker.
No, he lost to Whitaker.
He lost that fight.
Yeah. Till
I love me some Darren Till. I'm not trying to knock his guy, but just to be realistic, he hasn't won a fight in a long time.
Gastelum. Yeah.
And when was that? 2019. That was before
That's
COVID.
what I meant was the Gaston.
Yeah.
That was before COVID, ladies and gentlemen. That's how long ago that was.
Yeah.
It was like a whole different universe. The world was different at that point. Why he's in the top 5 in that division,
Yeah.
I don't know.
And he beat Wonder Boy questionably.
I mean, that's his biggest win, right?
Yeah, but I mean, could
So
argue
yeah,
Wonder
I
Boy
would
won
love
that.
to see, again, what's Cannoniers doing in Gaslam.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back to.
But yeah, Robert Whitaker, beautiful performance. Beautiful to watch.
Well, Costa's floating around there too. He's coming off a loss.
He's still hungover.
This one was kind of a snoozer.
Yeah, I mean, this was predominantly on the feet the whole time.
This fight had me focusing a lot more on Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
Andre Arlovsky, Chase Sherman.
I mean, I watched this fight. Sherman definitely edged the first round, but after that, Arlovsky was getting the better of him.
I didn't really hear it, but
I think the leg kick was making him.
Judging by what the Twitterverse is saying, I guess commentary is very, very biased towards Sherman during the whole fight. What's going on?
Yeah. But Arlovsky was winning that fight. He was countering better.
Well,
he was pressuring better.
what I
leg
saw,
kicks.
and I kind of tweeted this to you, or not tweeted, I texted you this while we were watching the fights. Arlovsky has all the skill he's always had.
He just doesn't have the power.
His hits, punches, and kicks don't hurt as much as they used to, but he is on there sharp, piecing people up. His skill is not diminished whatsoever.
He still has it. Like I watched the second, third round. I'm like, and I was thinking the same thing
We
before
can
he
see his
kicks.
body. Look, there's no muscle on his body.
I'm like, if he still has that same power, Sherman's out.
Right, for
He's
sure.
out.
Because
he's hit him so many times. He's
technically,
out.
He's looking sharp.
Yeah, he's technically way more sound than Chase Sherman was.
Right, and this is kind of a non-consequential fight.
Yeah, I mean,
It's kind of
Sherman
thrown
got
together.
He got frustrated. He ate a bunch of leg kicks. He couldn't find his rhythm, and Arlovsky won that
Right.
fight.
I
29-28.
felt like it was kind of a must-win for Arlovsky since he's on a 3 or 4 fight losing streak.
That's probably the fact. I think he's pretty solid in that gatekeeper role, though.
Right.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna like Sherman. The gate was locked.
And it's not like he didn't look awful against Aspinall before he got choked out. Like he was hanging in there.
There's probably let's say 25, maybe 30 heavyweights that belong at that top level in the world.
I mean, if you leave it up to him, he wants to fight another couple years, is what he says. But ultimately, he's realistic. He's humble about it. He's like, it's up to Sean Shelby and Dana if I'm getting another fight or not. But I want to fight a few more years.
There's a couple guys.
I say let him have it. He's not getting smoked like JDS and them.
I mean, he's won 2 out of his last 4, right?
Yeah, leave him in there.
2 out of his last 3, I should say.
Yeah,
Because he beat Tanner Bozer.
he beat Tanner Bozer.
He lost. He got beat by Aspinall.
Yeah, and then he beat Sherman.
And he won 2 out of 3.
Yeah,
We're talking about
Arlovsky.
Arlovsky. Yeah.
Yeah, he beat Tanner Bozer by
Oh,
decision.
he beat
that was a
Bozer.
boring ass fucking snooze fest, and I had Bozer, and I was really pissed about that. Right
yeah,
there,
he beat Bozer. Yeah.
I bet it on Bozer so because of his.
Yeah.
And he didn't fight Lins that fight, right?
Yeah, he beat Rothwell. I don't know what happens with the Lynch shit. This UFC
Yeah, I mean, he's
website.
up and down. He's 50-50 fighter right
Yeah,
now.
he's 42.
Yeah. He's a great.
He's losing decisions.
There's that guy. I don't know who the fuck he is. That's what he looks like.
Yeah.
He's gonna hunt me down one day. The bigger this podcast gets, he's gonna figure out, motherfucker.
You will know my name. You will know my name. But yeah, a slower fight. Probably shouldn't have been the co-main event.
Sherman might be out of the UFC.
Well, he's been out once.
And he was coming off a USADA suspension. You come in and you lose to Andre Arlovsky again, who looks sharp, but if you can't beat a man, we saw what Aspinall did to him, right? When you're already kind of 1 foot out in the door, other foot on the banana peel, and you lose Andre Arlovsky, you might be out that door.
Well, I mean, if Arlovsky is that gatekeeper and you didn't break through, then
Time to go to PFL. You skip Bellator, you go to PFL.
All right, so
You go all the way down.
before we get into this next fight,
Since Howlerhead's
screwball.
full of shit.
Howlerhead's dropping the ball. So how about you hook us up with some shit here? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. You and Howlerhead are kind of like fighting for that market share. Come on, send us some shit.
All right, this next fight I was kind of giving you shit for, and you were right.
Al Hassan,
Hey,
Malcoon.
I called it on the show. I said slam that underdog plus 200.
We both agreed, honestly. But I was going back. Al Hassan did not look terrible in this fight. He just got out grappled. Like he was still fighting throughout the whole thing. Jacob Malcoon and Abdul Razak Hassan. My biggest, what was holding me back during the podcast last week for picking Al Hassan was that vicious fucking knockout that Chaos did to him. And people coming off those, you never know what they're going to be. I don't think he lost his fight because of that knockout, but that's what had me a little held back. But then I kind of went back to tape. I've seen Malcoon be a little bit chinny, and Al Hassan has first-round power, right? So I thought Al Hassan would get that. I had that first-round bet for him and all that shit. But once that first round went and we saw how Malcoon just grapple fucked the shit out of him.
He's 80cc champ.
Right. It was
Robert Whitaker's training partner.
Completely one-sided. A lot of people are saying that he's only in the UFC because he's fucking Robert Whitaker's training partner. But he just, and it wasn't like I'm just gonna lay and pray on this guy like we'll talk about in other situations.
Pretty legit grappling.
He was hunting subs, transitioning. He was attacking the whole time, like equivalents of strikes, but in grappling form. It was great. It was great work by Malcoon.
Malcoon did excellent performance. I had a feeling like I called it on the show. I'm like, this might be a good spot here.
I'm Mr. Stand him up, right? Yeah. I'm always quick to say we should stand this shit up. But what Malcoon was doing, that's effective grappling. That's why I'm like, let them motherfuckers work. When he's doing what he was doing, that was great. Shout out to Hassan, though. He never backed out the fight. He was down from start to finish, but even the third round, he fought back to his feet.
But he's lost, 3 of his last 4. He's missed weight twice out of those 3.
Oh, yeah, I don't know how he makes weight.
He just stepped up to 185.
I don't know how he makes weight. He looked big for 185.
He's fucking huge. He's got to walk around at 230.
I think he's way better going to 205. Like these 185 guys, like especially a guy like Hassan, 205 is probably a fucking better place. It's not that skilled. It's not that deep. Like it's I mean, you got Jan at the top, who obviously is world class. He proved that. But other than that, who?
Yeah, I mean it's tough.
Who are you afraid of in 205 other than Jan?
He had to let his hands go, and he couldn't after those takedowns.
Well, and Malcoon was just good. Just fought well the whole fight from start to finish.
Yeah, he got him wore out.
I think though, honestly, USADA needs to check Jacob Malcoon for his testosterone levels. Look at that fucking chest hair. If that's not a fucking red flag warning, look at that.
Yeah, this guy's definitely fucking doping, not the guy on the left.
Yeah, you don't get that on normal testosterone levels. That shit is fucking. That fucking boy beef.
I know. I've been trying to grow some chest hair for a while.
Oh, I could do that, but I make sure I keep the fight. I got my Manscaped, another Manscaped. You want to come through and help us out? That lawnmower 3.0 keeps me looking trim. But that shit, again, USADA, check that shit right there. You don't get that with low testosterone.
I just get hairy nipples. That's it.
You know, I'm trying to. I'm up in my T, and it's not working that way. So, but yeah, it was a good fight. It was a better fight than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it was a good fight. It was fun to watch.
Are you guys want to keep rolling?
Yeah, let's keep it going. Through. Tracy Cortez versus Justine Kish. Now, I was literally high when I was watching this fight.
One of the many split decisions of the night. There was multiple split decisions yesterday.
But Tracy Cortez wins the fight. I know me and you disagree on this. I don't think Tracy Cortez has a 30-27.
I believe
29-28 Cortez.
I think Kish fought a tough fight. She did think she wasn't just a fucking punching bag. Yeah. But she did not win any round. She got
quite a few good exchanges on the feet, but Cortez obviously just
more strikes, more damage.
Besides, Kish had the knockdown in round 3.
A near knockdown. She rocked Tracy, but Tracy never went to the floor.
Well, I think they were saying they were disputing it on
because her hand touched the floor.
Yeah, in the boxing world, that's a knockdown, I believe. But this is MMA.
But 3 takedowns to 0.
Yeah,
Cortez
won the fight. I don't think she pitched a shutout.
But she pitched a shutout in round, and not in each Let's say if you want to cut the round down into percentages, Tracy Cortez won at least 51% of every round.
I mean, sometimes it's just. Yeah,
but that's what I'm trying to say about 30-27. I'm not saying that it was a landslide 30-27 win, but in every round, Tracy Cortez did more to win the fight, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I had a 29-28 Cortez. Her stock's just rising. She missed weight.
We want to go to different sports, right? Say if there's a sweep in the NBA, but every game ended by 1 point. Yeah. That wasn't a domination. They were tight games, but you edged out every single round, and that's what I think Tracy Cortez did.
She's got to get her weight dialed in, though. You know, she missed weight.
That's her first time going down.
Yeah.
So it could be. She's fought at 135 a lot, and I think that's more to try to stay active. They're trying to say. I don't know if she's planning on staying at 125 or what. She's still young, though. She even said, I need a couple more fights before I fight at top 15. So she's not.
Well, I mean, you had Kish coming up from 115, too. She's a former strawweight
but
fighter.
She's not like delusions like Grandeur either.
Bantamweight.
You know, she knows, okay, I got work to do. I'm working my way up. So it's not like she's like, oh, give me a title shot, you know?
I think her future is definitely promising. You know, she's got some hands.
All right.
Great wrestling, great ground and pound, great posture,
great decision making too.
Great booty.
Fight IQ, yeah, that too.
How she fights in those eyelashes, I don't know.
Man, they don't fall off either.
Yeah, I know.
But
booty for days. Woo.
Yeah, her fight IQ is really high too.
Yeah.
So I think this fight, Cortez, she said, I don't know where she wants to fight, so it's hard to pick where to send her next. Kish might be bye.
Yeah, I don't see her being around much longer. But did she beat Avila, Raging Panda?
I don't think. I know she lost to Mazzo.
Mazzo.
She got finished
That's
by
who it
Mazzo.
was. Mazzo.
Mazzo finished her.
Yeah,
too.
Mazzo. She was working her though the first round and a half, 2 rounds.
You thought so? I didn't.
Yeah, I always think a lot of crazy shit.
You like Justine?
We both think crazy shit.
Yeah.
It's just different. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes we swap brains. Sometimes I'm like, what the fuck? This is what you don't like. What are you doing?
Every fight's got a life of its own, man. Yeah. It's hard, and that's where
#all fights matter.
I will give my sworn enemies, the judges, a little bit of credit. But I just don't think these people understand MMA. I just don't think they do.
Yeah, it's hard sometimes.
But on the flip side, we came prepared. I got the scorecards right in front of me. It kind of shows how 3 different people can see a fight in 3 different ways. It's so all about what you saw, where your angle is, what you value, right?
Yeah.
We talk about that all the time, what I think it should be. And that's because I don't think there's a really clear.
Well, I mean, even you kind of like had me look at things a little bit more like, where it's kind of like, we'll get to this fight a little bit later on, but the Loopy and the fucking, what's their name? Pena.
Right.
Whereas when we go back to the Marlon Vera and Aldo, I'm like, Aldo's on his back the whole time, but
even
you're like,
the
well,
opener.
He's hitting him, doing
The
damage.
second fight with Bush and Hubbard,
Yeah.
which we're not going to get too deep into. But like when you got to lay and pray, I'll talk about stand him up type thing. We're kind of getting ahead of ourselves, whatever. Hubbard kind of just held position for most of that round, and I think that's ridiculous. The way I know why he won the fight, because that's kind of how like judges see stuff, and that's how they score it in the current system. But in my head, I want to ask you this question. I actually thought about this today. I think it's a brilliant question. Maybe I'm just a fucking idiot that thinks I'm smarter than I am. But in a round, let's say one person threw absolutely no strikes and one person threw all the strikes, but he didn't land any of them. Mm-hmm. Who won the round?
The person throwing the strikes and not landing. It's initiative, right?
So in my
because pressure is a part of like judging for these MMAs.
So
like
I feel like a guy, a person who's
pressure.
not like holding position on top is not throwing strikes. They're defending this person. It's defense from the top in my position. In my opinion, it's defense at the top. I'm not attacking you. I'm stopping you from attacking me. So it's like the same thing. This guy's trying to get out. He can't. He's throwing strikes. He's not hitting the strikes, but this person's not throwing.
But then, like, I think if you
him.
look at it from a grappling standpoint, you have somebody on top who's not throwing strikes, not advancing position, and you have somebody on bottom who's happy to be in that position, is not throwing strikes and not trying to get up. Then the person on top controls winning.
If the person's just laying there like Greg Hardy did, but
if you have somebody in bottom guard and they're throwing elbows, they're doing
they're trying to transition, it's not working.
They're looking for arm bars and shit. They're winning the fight.
That's where a common ground in that situation. The way I look at that, that's like a person throwing strikes and missing, but the other person's not throwing any strikes. That's the way I look at it.
I don't care if you're on top, if you're not throwing any kind of ground and pound or trying to advance.
We just touched on Jacob Malcoon. That is offensive grappling.
Yeah.
And good grappling. Let him work as long as he fucking wants. I talk about the 20-second clock all the time. That's for stalling. They need to do something about stalling a little bit. When they be a more clear cut. I know a ref can stand him up at any time, but they should have a clear cut rule. Well,
they all need the same training too. They don't need to get them in a fucking room and talk to them.
Right. Absolutely.
Let's get this going. Roll call. This is what we're gonna fucking do.
And then so again, one of the many split decisions of the night. Cortez, again, future looks bright for her. She's not perfect, but she's making all the steps that she needs and climbing the ladder as she should go.
Well,
Kish
let's
might be an afterthought.
We digress. Let's move on here. Luis Pena Munoz. We both agree. Fucking robbery.
So I think Munoz won the first 2 rounds for sure. For sure. Absolutely.
29-28.
And possibly the third. I could see a Pena started talking. We were talking about Pena started talking and saying, he tried to act like he's Max Holloway for a second there. Yeah. And he did land some strikes, but Munoz fell forward. I believe he took him down once in that round.
Yeah. The one thing that it doesn't the one thing I could see maybe is Pena
decision, by the way.
octagon control most of the time. Like he's pushing the pace, he's moving forward, he's striking. But I mean, Munoz, hands down, won those first 2 rounds. In my opinion,
I think Pena had that kind of I'm looking busy, but I'm not doing work type deal.
Yeah.
Like you're moving around a lot.
Like
you're a lot of activity.
You're Caitlin Chukagians.
Yeah, you're a lot of activity. Borderline Macy Barber jab in the air type deal. Not too far away from that because he was doing a lot of the shoulder rolls. Floyd Mayweather for a second. And again,
that was a Sarah Moras.
I think for sure I could see why Pena gets round 3, right? It's
for sure.
But if somebody gave Munoz 30-27, I would be like, oh, that's a terrible call.
Yeah, I mean, he had takedowns. He hit him with big, powerful shots on the feet. I mean,
and if we break it down by round, I guarantee most of I want to call him Ross. I almost called him Ross.
I don't know.
Pena's strikes, the majority of them came in round 3.
It's like I was texting you at the start. I'm like, why is Luis Pena consistently underwhelming? Like, there's hype behind this guy. You look at him, he's got skill, he's talent, he's slick, but he just underperforms, I feel like, every fight.
And why does he come out? It's a guy that's born in Arkansas, trains in Jacksonville, and he has a Mexican flag when he comes out there. UFC is a global sport.
Yeah.
But, Pena didn't look terrible. I think he is not reaching his potential. Yeah. He could be a great fighter. He really could. But he kind of
6'3", lightweight. I mean, yeah.
Again, he has kind of that Holloway style. He's poor man's Holloway.
But maybe he should change his name to Nonviolent Bob Ross.
What did he say he wanted to change his name to? When they asked him how confident you are, he said 100%.
What's the dude's name from The Simpsons?
Sideshow Bob.
Sideshow Bob.
Yeah. And that was kind of clue in the main card. Again, Pena, I don't think Munoz, he was kind of holding on for dear life. Who knows where he's going to fall and all this. Same thing with Pena. I still think he's kind of working his way to get close to a 150. Like especially saying, lightweight, that top 15, he's not there yet.
No. All right.
This is one of the biggest disappointments of the night, right? It was a good fight, though. For what it was a good fight. On both parties. Like, both guys looked really good in this fight. They both had their moments, right? That third round, for Alexander Romanov versus Juan Espino, this is my main event tonight, right?
This is Mike's UFC man crush, by the way.
My favorite fighter in the UFC. Full disclosure, total bias, all that. Versus Juan Espino, who I like Espino, though, too. I know he's talented. I know he's good.
Also guapo.
El Guapo. He's fucking handsome as fuck. Look at that guy. Look at that.
He can play Zorro. Or Antonio Banderas. Step aside,
man.
bitch.
Look at that, man. Alexander Romanov's known for the crazy ground and pound, but two very good grapplers. Two very good heavyweight grapplers. That's kind of how it played out.
The first round was pretty good.
It was things
started to slow down in the
first
second.
round was a very tough round to score, in my opinion. Right? Espino got that first takedown to control. Romanov comes back, has that second takedown, so it's kind of even. And towards the end, Espino kind of gets a close takedown, but doesn't really finish it or go from there. Yeah. How do you score that round? It's a very close round. I could go either way on it.
Well, I think going into the third, I had it 19-19.
And that was probably the safest bet. Because I think second round, Romanov almost ends it.
Yeah, I'd say Espino in the first, Romanov in the second.
All right.
And then you're getting in the third, which we'll talk about that in a
second.
The third,
it ends on a low blow. Espino is in control of the round. It's early, though. What time is it? Like 1 minute in? Something like that?
Yeah, it's early.
Presses against the cage, and he throws a knee. 1 minute in. He throws a knee that hits Romanov below the belt.
Yeah.
He was in control of that 1 minute for sure. Romanov can't continue.
Romanov apparently has some nerve pain from his groin up into his stomach, and he can't stand on his leg. Right. So he can't continue. In the spirit of Aljo, everybody thinks it's acting. But again, on the same side, Romanov does not know how this fight's going to turn out if he says he can't fight. Yeah. It's not like he could stop this fight and say, I know I'm going to win this fight because of disqualification. He had to go to the judge's scorecard on this. So, and it was a legit hit to the nuts. Yeah, it wasn't like a fake low blow or anything. I think you just run it back.
That's probably the best way to go. It ended up being a split decision. So we were going over. I got the scorecards here. One judge gave it to Romanov, gave him rounds 1, 2, and he gave Espino round 3, which is kind of where I fall on the scoring system. Another judge gave Romanov 2 and 3, but the third one is the two. That's what you see how it's scored. The two guys that gave the fight for Romanov gave Romanov round 1 and 2, and Espino 3 because Espino was in control. The third judge, fucking Chris Lee, who if anybody doesn't know who Chris Lee is, he's the guy that gave Paul Felder that fight versus RDA when RDA 50-45 them, maybe even a 50-44 type fight. So
he's done other shit too.
He did not score the third round. There's no score on his third. Now I don't know if this is a typo or the website I have isn't accurate, but he has Espino in 1, and then he has Romanov in 2, and decided he didn't want to score the round 3. Like I don't know, he didn't want to make another mistake. I could live. The hard thing about round number 3 is Espino controlled that minute, but what do you do about the low blow that ended the fight? A legal blow ended the fight. Do you penalize that person for that?
I don't think you do. Up until that point, he hadn't made any mistakes.
But
in the
if
fight,
you don't, you can theoretically in the third round hit a guy in the fucking nuts and win the fight.
I don't think people are going to try to do that.
Somebody will do it.
2 rounds.
Right. Yeah. But somebody will. Not everybody will, but there are people that will do shit like that.
Yeah.
Or if you feel like a guy's coming on, give him a quick little poke in the eye. It doesn't be a low blow.
You've won the first 2 rounds.
Like imagine you're up 2 rounds and a guy takes you down and starts getting some ground and pound. You give him a little thumb poke or some shit.
Yeah.
Whatever it may be. Like I'm not saying he was going to do that or that's what he did, but that possibility is out there.
Yeah.
So it goes to the cards, and Espino should have a little bit of a beef for sure, and I agree with 100%. Should run it back. It was a fun fight. Before that happened, these guys are going back and forth.
I mean, you got a powerful brawler versus more of a technician. I mean, it was a pretty good stylistic match.
I thought for sure that Romanov was going to finish him in the second round.
Yeah, it was close.
He got into that ground and pound.
Yeah.
And some refs might have stopped that fight.
Yeah.
Depending on the ref, might have stopped that fight. But obviously it's good that he didn't.
Not after what Gravely was doing to Burchard.
We'll talk about Mark Strong in a second.
They're like, let him die tonight.
The pilot Mark Strong, if Mark Strong is the referee,
Mark
everybody.
Smith,
or Mark Smith, I'm sorry. Mark Smith is the referee.
Sure, he's strong though.
It is a lock. It is a lock that fight starts the second round. Because fucking Anthony Bird, he's known for letting that shit go too far.
If he dies, he dies.
So again, this is where both these guys, Romanov probably has a little bit brighter future because he's a little bit younger.
Yeah, Espino's pushing 40. I think, right?
So I think they should run it back maybe in about 3-4 months and let's see what happens.
Let's do it. I'm down. All
Another
right.
one we disagreed on a little bit.
Yeah, I had Loopy winning this fight.
So this is a fight about moments or efficiency.
I mean, when you fucking Kevin Nash jackknife powerbomb somebody twice, how do you not get the belt?
But she had 2 extra takedowns. Control time went to Pena, and Pena landed way more strikes.
Well, the control time was down to 10 seconds difference.
It still was more.
Still more.
It's still more.
But I mean, she ragdolled her, dude.
The story of the fight was Pena on her back.
Pena was on her back, trying to search for submission. Wasn't
There's
doing
2
much.
things you remember from the fight. One was the power bomb.
Lupe landed bigger shots on the feet, more powerful, strong shots on the feet.
Lupe lost this fight because of fight IQ.
And ragdolled her.
You're not going to win a fight where you're outstruck by 30 strikes. You're never going to win a fight where somebody, unless you knock that person out. Her volume was terrible. Manuel Cape's a prime example of that. We talked about Manuel Cape with that. You have to stay on a person. You have to attack them. When you power bomb somebody, you got to go and finish them on the floor.
Yeah, she had more SIG strikes, and she tossed her like a ragdoll.
It's 98 strikes to 68. That's a big differential. That's a lot more hits coming in that a ref seeing.
I mean, I had it. That's 29-28. Godinez, man, come on.
No, you're scoring one moment.
I'm definitely not on an island with this one. I know that.
You are scoring one moment. Her fight IQ is terrible.
Come on.
Your fight IQ is, and then every time she'd go to the fucking clinch,
she would throw Jessica on the ground, and Jessica would look up like
she'd stand right back up and take her back.
What's going on? Huh?
Why would if she did something effective? Why did she stand right back up and take her back?
Yeah, but so like if they're on their back for 20 seconds and they haven't got a sub or they're not punching, should they get her off her back?
She was punching. That's why she has 98 significant.
Not really.
strikes.
She's getting hit too.
She had they're both hitting each other. 90. You were punching. She wasn't like she has less than. She has 30 extra strikes there. You're not gonna.
You know me.
This is not how you win a fight.
I'm dying on this hill. I'm
it-
still dead on the fucking Trevin Giles hill.
It was honestly a terrible performance by Lupe because she gave the fight away.
She could have made it more convincing for sure.
She never went in to finish a fight. She never attempted to finish it. You powerbomb. She had that one big trip too, and she just let her stand right back up.
You know what I say? Run it back.
I don't even think it's really a takedown. That trip was really a takedown they gave her credit for because she didn't go to the ground with her. She didn't control her. It's kind of that point. If you go to the ground, it was almost like a scramble.
Yeah, you should get 2 takedowns for each powerbomb though.
Conversion rate.
Not when she hops right back up and takes her back.
Yeah.
She hopped right. She
looked down there like a baby deer just being born a few times.
She got right back up.
What's happening to me?
Why didn't Lupe go and finish her then? If she's a
Because
baby deer.
her poor fight IQ. Like you said, I'm not disagreeing with that.
She was not rocked.
But I think she did enough to win the fight.
Not even close. It's not even close. It wasn't. It should have been probably 30-27 Pena. And I think one of her gave her that.
I know I'm drinking, but
I think one of her gave her that.
come on, man.
No, 29-28 most people gave.
But
people gave her the third round because of the power.
We
bomb.
do need you as a judge, though. I'd be so interested to see how you judge some.
And I'll do interviews every fucking time. I'll tell you exactly why.
Mike be throwing out some 10-8s. No, you gotta tell. Mike's like no. Mike's like you gotta start from 0.
You should start from fucking 0. Why does
Mike's like there's gonna be some
points?
fucking 7-3s.
Yeah. Yeah, 4-2s.
I'm like, what?
Austin Hubbard would have had a 4-2. He would have had a 4-2 round in this fight for sure. Like you got to do something. You got to do something.
And the winner
by 16-3.
We got 13-8 on Mike's scorecard.
Yeah. Because why do you automatically get 9 points? You can get beat up and get 9 points for the round. What does make no sense? It should be scored like high diving or like figure skating on a rating of 1 to 10. What do you give that person's performance for that round? 5. Like you can do shit.
Yeah, we should have cards at the end.
Right. Let's go. Let's do it.
Ring girls, sit down. Let the judges get up there and shake that card.
But again, Lupe's
shake that score.
She's young in her career, so
hashtag shake the score.
She was the last I ever played. She might be going back to LFA.
Maybe, probably back to fight your cousin.
Which is a good thing for her, though. Honestly.
I see what's going on here. You're salty. She beat up your cousin.
She needs to be more seasoned. She does her 6th fight. When that fight IQ lost her that fight.
Yeah.
Going on to one of my whiskey and wagers that hit last night.
Oh yeah.
Jared Mearshart and Bartosz Fabrinsky.
When are you going to learn, man? 3 of your last 4 losses, you've been submitted in the first round.
That's why Tony was kind of leaning on Fabrinsky.
Because I was wanting to go GM3, but Mike wouldn't. Mike gives me shit about GM3 because I picked him.
I was on GM3 from start to finish. In this
Hazmat.
one. And then I started watching tape on both these guys. Like, oh, Fabinski likes to get choked out. Going against one of the best submission artists in that division. Oh, what am I going to think? And that's why in Whiskey and Wagers, Jeremiah Sharp by submission. I told you to lay it plus 220.
Yeah.
And if you did, you hit last night.
But some sports, three strikes, you're out. So come on, you got 3 subs in one round. You haven't learned your lesson.
He put him to sleep too.
I think GM3's got the middleweight record for subs.
Like 20s. He's more than he beat Maya's. He beat Maya's record. He beat
fucking
Damian Maya's
impressive.
record. Yeah. So you don't want to go to the ground with Gerald Mearshart. We saw how you beat Gerald Mearshart. Hit him in the fucking chin. That's how he
just
goes
come
up.
out and start swinging.
Right. So again, going forward, we give Mearshart redemption against Hamzat.
I mean, Hamzat needs to come back. He's got to shake off the COVID.
Who knows how that guy's going to come back? Maybe
Well,
comes
they
back.
said they're targeting July, I think.
But who knows what he's going to be when he comes back?
I think he's scared of Leon.
I think he's just, who knows where his mind's at?
And Leon knocked his fucking
You never
ass
want
out.
to try to get into a fighter's brain.
Yeah.
Who knows what the fuck's going on in that thing? A guy just like, I want to hop in a cage for a living.
But yeah, you cashed to what, plus 200?
220.
220?
220. That's the only whiskey wages that hit. We can talk about the ones that missed a little bit later, and it's going to come up pretty soon.
Fabinski, you're out of here,
Mark,
bro. Get
Smith.
him out.
Yeah, Fabinski. Unless you just want a person to work on their sub game. Next fight, I had Austin Hubbard versus Dakota Bush.
But whoa, we can't just jump into it like that. We got to talk about the travesty that exists right now with UFC silencing his nickname.
Yo, yes. So Dakota Bush on the regional circuit goes by Dakota Harry Bush, and UFC sold out to fucking Disney. They would not call him Harry Bush. They erased his name. They'll call Austin Thug.
Yeah.
Like Thug is okay,
Thud.
but Harry even worse. Even worse.
What a disservice to your ESPN Plus subscribers. I'm paying $4.99 a month to hear
fuck you,
Harry
Mickey.
Bush.
Fuck you, Mickey.
In all fairness, he's not all that hairy. Okay?
Right.
So, I mean,
But maybe his Bush is.
But maybe his Bush
You
is.
don't know what's underneath that UFC
yeah,
logo.
You
right
don't know
there.
what he's hiding in there.
You know what kind of venom he's got in there. He might look like fucking what's his name? Like look like Malcoon
I was so
down
upset.
there.
I texted Mike. I'm like, "Where's his nickname?"
His fucking pelvic area might look like Malcoon's chest.
I thought Bisbing would be all over it with some good British wit.
Yeah.
And we didn't get anything. I'm like, what?
Okay, now we can talk about the fight.
Yeah, we had to get that. I had to get that off my
Bush
chest.
came out looking good again. A last second replacement. Both these guys former LFA lightweight champions. Apparently Dakota Bush was supposed to be on the Dana White Contender Series, which was one of the reasons why they called him for this. Short nose fight. Looked good early, but he gassed out too. We kind of talked about it when we were watching the fight.
If he had some cardio, he probably could have won this fight.
And who knows where he was at in his training camp. You know, you get the opportunity to go to UFC. You got a week to do it. Yeah. I mean, let's go ahead and do it. He has the skill, and then it just as the fight progressed, Hubbard just was able to put his will on because he had better cardio than he did.
Yeah.
Again, I think that's. I'm surprised to see that many strikes by Hubbard. What they were counting.
Yeah, I mean, come back, change your nickname to Manicured. I mean,
Hubbard get that manicured.
they might say.
Good for Austin Hubbard. Like they just keep feeding him wrestlers.
Yeah.
He just keeps getting these.
There was a little bit of hype behind him for a bit too, and then he lost that.
that leg.
Yeah, that fight.
Who knows? But he looked good.
Yeah.
he looked good in there. You know,
He's a slower starter. You know,
Right.
once he gets going, he looks pretty good.
in that division, though, man. I just think that ceiling's.
That's
pretty low
155
that's
pretty much.
155.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
that's just,
fucking-
no. Neither one of these guys, I don't think.
Yeah. Yeah, we can keep it going though.
And then we go back to the opener, kind
Which is
of.
pretty much one of the fights of the night, in my opinion.
Gravely, if the one-sided fight of the night, like this. I think the fight of the night was Espino
Yeah,
and
I guess Gravely beat
and
the break.
Romanov.
Yeah,
That
Gravely
was-
beat
that
the
fight was
brakes
great.
off of him.
Gravely beat the shit out of Anthony Burchak, who in 2 fights in the UFC,
Yeah.
I've seen this get the shit
I
beat out
mean,
of him, like bad.
He must have
Apparently-
done something to Mark Smith.
Yeah. Well, Mark Smith is now just known. If you see he's the referee, bet fight starts round 2.
Yeah.
Because Gravely just pounded the fuck out of Burchak for about 3 to 4 minutes in round 1.
Yeah.
For some reason, Smith.
I
did
mean,
not
but he
wanna
let
stop
he
it.
let the fight go there for a bit though, and then Burchak turned the tides and had Gravely in a spot for a sec.
But no, that was before the beating really started to come in.
Well, I mean, there was multiple beatings.
Yeah, but when he,
Yeah. Dude, there was multiple
yes,
beatings.
and then round 2 starts, and Gravely just picks up where the fuck he left off and just pounds him.
It's like your mother hit you 10 times, but she takes a
Man.
rest. You think it's over. It's like she goes back to work.
Smell a quick cigarette. Then come back and get you
Yeah, I'm
again.
not done with you.
4 takedowns.
Yeah.
60 strikes. Oh, I think they all were very significant. If you ask Anthony Burchak.
Yeah. Dude, he fucked him up, man.
It was a one-sided fight. Gravely, Contender Series guy, right?
Yeah.
So I think this guy's got. He's
Pretty
got
good. There's
some
2 in a
potential.
row that I know of.
But I will, keep my expectations tempered because, again, like I said, I've seen Anthony Burchak fight twice, and both times he had the shit beat out of him.
Yeah. So give Gravely somebody,
Well, that's 135?
Well, yeah, it's 135. Another deep division.
Give him Bryce Mitchell.
Yeah, what is Bryce? No, he's 145.
I just want to see Bryce Mitchell fight.
Bryce Mitchell's 145.
I want to see the Venom camo pants.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that does it for that card.
That was the card.
Yeah.
All right, let's go into our whiskey and wager.
So I did pretty bad in the sports book. I didn't do too hot.
Terribly.
So
let's go into this a little bit.
First, we didn't touch base on, Jeremy Stevens and Drakkar Close.
That was a big killer in DraftKings.
DraftKings as well. Sheet. No, you got it over there somewhere.
It's in here somewhere. Oh, here we go. So, Whiskey and Wagers, I posted them on, was it on Friday or Saturday? But anyway, I had 3 prop bets that all came pretty close to cashing. One did. Gerald Mearshart had that sub-victory for that plus 220.
Yeah.
I had Alexander Romanov by TKO, and in the second round, that almost came to fruition. He was on the top, ground and pounding. Espino was a tough motherfucker.
All I do know, though, is last night watching these fights and watching the live-in wagering, there's a lot of fucking good spots.
Right.
Because there's a lot of things you could have got on out of that first round. They were still picking favorites to win. They didn't end up winning, Right. There's some good live-in wagering last night.
My last of the Whiskey and Wagers was Tony Gravely, round 1. Who, again, we kind of discussed. He did everything you could fucking do.
No, they should have stopped. They should have stopped that fight for sure.
And that didn't go through. So I was on the mark. I hit one. But that's why I like to play these prop bets, though. You don't have, aim small, miss small, right?
Yeah.
You hit one of these prop bets, and you get that positive. You get that positive night. I did have a parlay, degenerate parlay. I hit 2 with Pena, Gravely, Hubbard, Mearshart, Romanov, and Cortez. Six leg parlay. $5 got me 160. So. It was a good night.
I lost on Al Hassan, a 5-leg.
I had I laid up.
Cost me $100.
Al Hassan round 1 because if he was going to win, that's when he was going to do it. That guy's not going to. All his losses came after round 1.
I'm like, God damn, dude! I had every other one, but
as far as DraftKings goes, we were pretty good again picking our 9Ks. We both had Whitaker number 1. He was the second highest scorer. Gravely was our number 2. He was the highest. I had Al Hassan. Obviously, if you don't win the fight, you're not going to do 2 as the third. You had Cortez, who was the third highest. Al Hassan, you had his 4th again, lost the fight, and I had Godinez as the lowest score, and she ended up losing the fight too. She had 44, so we were on point there. We had some good value as well. Both of us had close. Obviously, that fight got taken off the card, which kind of sucks. I think he was probably the best value guy to most likely to win their fight. Espino very easily could have won that fight. He might have won that fight. He won on one of the cards. It was a split decision. That would have paid off a lot better. We both had GM3 up there. He scored over 100 points. I like Dakota Bush in the fight. Didn't turn out for him, but he still scored a good 30 points. So a win would have got him up there. I also had Alexander Munoz, who I thought won that fight. Did not win that fight, but he did score 56 of the loss. And then Tony had the pick of the night.
The slate breaker.
You had to have Jacob Malcoon to win last night on DraftKings. Tony had him on his top 5 value plays, and he had 114 points. Almost scored as much as Robert Whitaker. So again, those were our picks. Head to head, we both had good nights. Tony's was better. He was 8-2 last night. Everybody almost matched my 9-1 night the other night. Not quite.
Hey, y'all, look out for the shirt this weekend. Twitch.
6-4.
I'm gaming in style this weekend.
6-4 for me. So Tony, we were tied going in as a 2-point advantage. Which between us, we're gonna talk a lot of shit. But as a group, both again. About 20 fights over 500. So 85 up for Tony, 61 down, 83 up, 63 down for me. So we know what the fuck we're talking about. So heads up picks. Yeah. And again, we are going on a limb with a lot of these picks. Like, we're not just picking the fights that we like. We pick every single fucking fight of every card. Yeah. So
we're keeping it honest with you too. We don't know much about the fighters. We're gonna tell you we don't fucking know much.
I'll go home and watch film throughout the week. I kind of talk with Tony about it. We talk it out. We'll make predictions here on the card. But again,
I mean, 600 fighters are constantly adding people to the rosters.
There's a card every fucking week. Slowly but surely, we're starting to recognize people though. They're coming back around. We're starting to know that a little bit. But again, we're picking on a lot of people that we don't know shit about.
Yeah.
We do not know anything about them, and we're 20 over 500. So I'm happy with those numbers.
All right, do we have a card this weekend or fucking what?
We're back.
We're back to Jacksonville, Florida.
Human beings watching the fight.
Governor DeSantis saying, fuck it, we're opening up.
Packed house in Jacksonville. Triple main event. 3 title fights. They all are. I think 2 of them be pretty good. This main event.
Do we want to live stream this one?
I'm down with a live
Whatever,
stream.
I'm
Long
down.
night like last time.
I got to get my shifts covered on Sunday.
You're working like 11. That's not even early.
Dude, I just had a birthday on Thursday. I'm a little bit older now, you know?
I'm older than you are.
I'm not as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was. But I've had about 3 onces this month. So
I just need a little cocaine to be good to go.
yeah, that'd be nice.
A little cocaine. Anyway, the official drug of In the Garden.
Pair it with the cocktail. For a good night.
UFC 261 triple main event, 3 title fights.
261.
Yeah,
Is it?
it's
I thought
261.
it was 64.
No, it's 61.
Damn.
61, man. Where the fuck? You live in the future, bro. Yeah, man, you have too much cocaine. You live in fucking July.
Nah, man.
64 is
Cocaine
Connor.
doesn't kill brain
64 is
cells.
Connor and
Oh, okay.
Connor and Poirier 3.
But anyway,
So we got Usman versus Masvidal rematch from
versus lightweight.
the reason I wore the shirt from Fight Island 1, right? The first main event on Fight Island. We're gonna find out if the short training camp is a thing.
No,
right?
doesn't matter.
I don't think it is. Even, the biggest reason I don't kind of buy into that narrative that George Masvidal had a short camp. Dustin Poirier said we were in their training camp. The only reason it was short notice is because we didn't have the contract signed.
At this point in Jorge Masvidal's career, 49 fights, that motherfucker has a fighting style.
Right.
I don't care how long your camp is, you're going to revert back
What's
to habits, right?
Shape and weight cut.
Yeah,
are two
you're
things that come into
conditioning
it.
for sure.
And weight cut. And
yeah,
weight cut.
and weight
Those
cut.
are two things. Those are
but
two
your
things that come
fighting
into it.
style is not the best fighting style against Kamaru Usman. I'm sorry,
I mean, it was. We don't want to talk about him now, but the one that slept Ben Askren really fucking quick too. And he was the
so did
first one
Jake
to do
Paul.
it. He was the first one.
So what does that knee really mean now?
But that means a lot because Ben Askren didn't have his best tool against Jake Paul. He had it against Usman, and he put his best tool in him right in the face with it. But is that I don't think Usman's gonna be dumb enough to shoot like that.
No,
it's not gonna work. You're not gonna pull that same trick off twice. And again, Usman probably the better overall fighter. He's not going to play around on the feet. We saw Usman throwing that jab against Burns, and that was only because we know damn well that Burns, he did not want to go to the floor of Burns. He did not want to lay down that guard. He's been in that a million times. He's been tapped probably 1,000,002. He knows I'm not going down there.
Masvidal is twice deadlier.
This is the fight that the infamous toe stomps came into play, right? Became part of MMA.
Yeah.
And we're going to see a lot of that again, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see how this goes much different than the first fight.
There's only one way. If now there were some slight exchanges on the feet where George kind of hurt him a little bit.
Yeah.
If he lands a clean shot, it could happen. It's
but I'd
out
say
there.
that Usman's adjustments are easier to make than Masvidal's adjustments for this fight.
It almost goes to the Francis and Stipe point though, whereas Usman has to be sharp for the whole fight, whereas Masvidal has to be good within that first. I think within the first 3 rounds, he has that knockout power. If it gets through round 3, Usman's winning this fight. If it gets through round 3.
Oh, I mean, I think Usman wins it 100 times out of 100.
No, I wouldn't say that much, but I do think Usman should be the favorite. I'm picking Usman to win this fight.
Yeah.
Even though I want Jorge Masvidal.
Oh,
to win.
yeah. If we're talking about who we want to win.
I want Jorge Masvidal to win this fight. I love Jorge Masvidal. He's fun. He's entertaining. The character, all that stuff. But again, I think Usman gets this one.
Yeah. Moving on.
Keep it rolling.
All right.
All right, here we go. The Cold War 2.
Magnum versus Thug.
Rocky 4.
Zhang Wei Li versus Rose Namajunas.
So,
Rose is my girl. I cannot pick
better
against
red
her.
than dead, right?
Yeah, better red than dead. You're south of the Mason-Dixon line.
So
Wei Li's going right into it here.
Woo! That one's hot. This microphone's hot right now. Anti-communism aside, I liked Rose going into this fight before, after, during. I think Rose finishes Wei Li in the 3rd round, and if she doesn't, I think that's probably going to be a problem for her. But I'm rolling with Rose here. I've honestly not been impressed with Wei Li Zhang in her title run. She caught Andrade quick, which anyone can lose a fight like that, and I think she lost to Joanna. I think Joanna Jeff Jacob beat her. It was one of the greatest fights of all time.
Not only is that mic hot, but it's bold.
And it was a split decision. It was a split decision fight. Why is that a bold claim?
I think Wei Li won that fight.
It was a split decision.
She had her looking like fucking Mega Mind at the end of the fight. Except not blue. Well, a little purple, but not blue.
We'll talk about why when the microphones go off. But anyway, also, I've seen Wei Li Zhang get kind of beat up a little bit by Tesha Torres.
Yeah.
I've seen lesser competition than
Tesha
Rose.
Torres has fought the
Rose
best of
is
the best,
fucking
too.
sharp.
Yeah.
She is good. She's loopy. She's a little bit off. She's a little bit, introverted, all those things. But she gets in that fucking cage. She can fight.
Yeah.
And she beat Joanna's ass twice. Wei Li won a split decision against Joanna. Rose beat the shit out of her twice. There was no question in those fights.
I mean, I think Rose wins this fight. I think it's a decision. I think she outpoints her And I don't think she finishes Whaley, but I think she beats Whaley.
Finishes her in 3.
I can't bet against Thug. The Roses,
so we're on the same page there.
Yeah.
And I'm sticking with these picks for the main card for sure. That's all we're gonna really talk about here anyway. This one we're gonna disagree because I'm going bold. I'm gonna be out there.
So it wasn't wrong when I said that Mike was bold.
Oh, now it is. And I get it. I'll take
potato,
all
potato.
the fucking this stupid motherfucker. This you're dumb. That I'm swinging for a home run here. I think Andrade knocks this out, and I will go and say that I think 99.9% of the time, Antonina or Valentina knocks her the fuck out, wins that fight. But I think this is going to be that anomaly. It's going to be that glitch in the matrix, and Andrade shocks the world.
No way. Shevchenko head kick. You heard it here. You saw it here first.
Shevchenko's definitely not finishing this fight.
Shevchenko is going to style point on Andrade.
When's the last time she's done that?
She's about to do it. She's about to Jessica Iyer.
You're going to compare Jessica Iyer to Jessica Andrade.
Yeah.
Jessica Iyer.
She's going to head kick her into the next dimension.
She's not going to be able to head kick her. She's too short.
No, she's going to head kick her.
I'm telling you, her dimensions are gonna throw.
She's going to head kick her or spinning back kick her. Andrade
is going to take her the fuck down.
It's going to be a highlight reel.
I bet that Andrade gets her hands on her within the first minute and throws her fucking around. I'm telling you, this is a fucking look at that fucking.
She's too small.
A bulldog. No, she's not small. She's bigger than her.
Watch.
She's thicker than her.
Shevchenko fought Nunes at 135
and lost.
Yeah, she gonna fuck Andrade up.
Okay, you'll see. Remember this.
Wait, we need to ask the one, the all seer over here, Jody.
I think Shevchenko's got this one.
Go for it.
I don't know how I'm not gonna say she knocks her out or head kicks her or whatever, but I think Shevchenko's.
We've seen that Shevchenko is not that woman no more.
I call it head kick.
Yeah, why didn't you head kick Maya then?
Maya's a bigger girl than Andrade.
Like shit in that fight.
She
and
won.
Maya's nowhere near as good as Jessica Andrade.
We'll see.
Jennifer Maia was like 2-2 in her career when she went and fought that fight.
Shevchenko head kick.
You'll see. Again, he's picking the easy pick for sure. I'm going out on a limb there. That's the easiest pick.
Dude, I picked Sam Alvey last week.
He is up 2 fights.
Right.
So maybe he's got a point.
It's not like I pick some wild shit sometimes.
Sam Alvey's nowhere near what that is. You were picking one of the biggest favorites of all time.
Well,
because she's gonna win.
There you go.
Okay.
But I picked one of the big underdogs sometimes too.
Who?
Sam Alvey was a big underdog.
No, nowhere near what Jessica.
She's
Andrade
plus
did.
200.
Sam Alvey was like plus 100.
He's like plus 200 and something.
Maybe it moved to that. We'll go back and look.
Man, remember when I picked Modafri? This was before we did the podcast, but I had her at plus 800. I picked her to beat Barber.
He said he was going to pick Barber. I don't think so. He says this. I don't remember this. I don't remember this.
Oh, how convenient.
I don't remember that. He says that. Where's the receipts? Where's the receipts?
I didn't purchase it.
All right, let's keep rolling with it. Uriah Hall, Chris Weidman.
I'm going Weidman here. And I'm pretty convinced that Weidman wins this fight. Because
he's so chinny nowadays, though.
Yeah, but Uriah Hall doesn't throw.
That's true.
Uriah Hall can knock anybody out.
He barely could get old man Silva out of there, right?
He waits. And that's because he doesn't move. He doesn't hit. He doesn't throw. He doesn't throw his kicks. He doesn't attack. He's lazy in the cage. He's passive. He has all the ability to knock anybody out. But I think Weidman's going to take him down, wear him out, and Uriah Hall just kind of lays there and takes it. That's what I think it's going to be. It's going to be a boring.
I think you'll see.
On top Chris Weidman fight.
I think you might see Weidman have success in the first round. I don't know, man. I'm going to go Uriah Hall decision.
I think Weidman wins this in a boring fucking fight. This is where you go get. This is where we'll be on here just talking shit, not even looking at the card. This is where we're ripping bull hits and shit because I don't think this fight's going to be anything worth fucking watching.
It's going to be boring. Yeah, we're going to have to spruce it up a little bit. Let's keep it moving. Anthony Smith versus Jimmy Croot.
I'm going Croot.
I'm going Croot
as
well. I think Croot's going to put it on
by
him.
finish. I think he gets a TKO finish on Anthony Smith.
There's a sizable reach advantage there. There's not a sizable 2-inch. There's a experience advantage, but
I think the arrows are going in two different directions for these two guys.
Yeah, I think Lionheart's going to be at that desk a little bit more, which I don't mind.
Right,
it's pretty nice to listen to commentating.
Right, I think. Croot I don't think he's going to, but he could either sub him or KO him. He has the possibility and the ability to do both of them. So
I think it's in Croot's best interest to try to keep it standing maybe and knock him out. Like Smith's no slouch on the ground though.
Yeah, but I could see a club and sub.
Yeah,
I could definitely see a club and sub.
Pretty. Oh no, this is the Anthony Smith fight.
We got a.
Well, it was supposed to be Croot versus.
What it's almost a
Walker.
Smith is plus 160,
155.
160 at some places, depending on the book.
Yeah.
And it's going up, so people are probably betting. On some books has Croot is negative 225.
Well, some books that he's going down, so it's kind of it's like even.
It depends on the book. I mean, because all this stuff goes to Europe first, so Europe what kind of sets this shit and moves it around. So
yeah.
Again, I think Croot wins this fight. I'm surprised Anthony Smith beat Devin Clark. His last few fights before that, from the Jones on, where it looked like he didn't have anything left in the tank. He shocked the world and beat Devin Clark, but I think it kind of goes back and Croot finishes this fight.
Yeah, I'm on Croot. I'd like to pick Smith, but I'm on Croot.
Yeah, and I think that's it for the main card, right?
Yeah.
That's it for the main card. I don't know if
The undercard, nothing too much to talk about. Brendan Allen Roberson's an interesting fight. I think Brendan Allen gets that done.
I think if he can get the fight to the ground where he wants it, but Roberson could knock him out on the feet.
I think Roberson quits on it.
Yeah, other than that, we can just kind of, you guys can.
Not really anything.
Yeah.
I am Jamie Simons. I think I remember him for somebody put him to sleep. But we'll dig in a little bit deeper. We'll get our picks and stuff out during the week. But again, not really much going on there. They stacked that main card so much. The undercard kind of, that it balanced that out a little bit.
Yeah.
all right.
So we can go to the shit show.
Yeah, let's get a little bit of drama for this. There's not too much happening this week. I mean, you guys want to talk about the shove?
The shove heard around the world.
Yeah, so my biggest thing is, why?
Car close confirms he forced him out of the fight. He hurt himself by pushing him and couldn't fight.
I mean, you could see there's a little bit of whiplash going on there. So,
Right.
I mean, and he's, I'm not discrediting what Close said. I believe it.
Was pushed by Jeremy Stevens. I immediately felt my hand go numb and neck tighten up after I was pushed by Jeremy. I thought who pushed who?
Jeremy Stevens
pushed Close.
Oh, okay.
Out of nowhere.
Because he got in his face.
I don't know if that's his attempt at hyping the fight.
Because he got in his face in the face-off.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? You have a chance to fight this guy tomorrow. You can beat the shit out of him. They don't have any bad blood.
No.
Like, they don't have any history with each other.
What
are you doing?
I think Stevens is, obviously, he's getting towards the tail end of his career.
He's dumb shit.
Yeah.
He's dumb as shit. He fucked up the fight with Yair. He's always in some shit like this. And I think Dana should fine his ass.
I mean, there's got to be something done for this. Like, you just you fucking cost me money in DraftKings for one.
You fought, how much money did it cost Dana White?
So yeah, that too. Like, for what? For what reasoning?
Like,
everybody was looking to this fight already. You didn't need to push this.
Do they both get their show money now?
Yeah.
Does that count as show money or not? Like, who knows?
I don't know. I don't understand it.
It makes no fucking sense.
He's trying to overcome that Connor. Connor fucking put him in the ground, dude.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Who the fuck is that guy? That was like the greatest diss of all time.
That's what you are going to be, Jeremy Stevens.
You're always going to be that.
In the history of MMA, that is what you're going to be remembered for. Who the fuck is that guy? And now, on the flip side, though, if this is what hurt Close, maybe it's a good thing for him that he didn't get in that cage. Maybe something was close to being fucked up at that time. He didn't know, and now it's the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah.
It might be a blessing in disguise for him. And then also it kind of goes back to the whole weight cutting thing. Maybe he's so depleted, so weak, he can't brace. He can't, fight that.
I mean, the muscles are depleted, like, right?
Right.
I mean, I don't know. It was just unnecessary.
Right.
It's fucking unnecessary.
And I would kind of, like I said, if this was Conor and Khabib, I kind of get it. They're two guys that fucking hate each other. DC and Bones Jones, they fucking hate each other's guts. You barely fucking know each other.
Yeah, I mean, imagine all the shit that led up to
Jan and
Khabib.
Aljo. I get if that goes to that, but this...
I don't know. They could be. He's trying to create the hype too. I mean, we obviously know like
it's not even a pay-per-view.
There's no hype to create. Yeah, but there's no hype to create. Yeah.
I mean, but there's. I disagree. I think that's a thing you build over time, and maybe it, everybody. If he shoves him and gets that reaction, like that starts to trend on Twitter or whatever. It starts to become part of his
his MO.
It becomes part of your story. I don't know. Maybe also too, like, you just wait in, your fucking adrenaline's going, and this motherfucker's in your face. Like,
come on, this is what is like his. How many fights has this guy
had?
Again,
we're going off. He said, she said, but again, that whole thing in Mexico with Yair and Stevens. Yair said, everyone knows you're a piece of shit. Everyone knows what kind of person you are. So he's known for doing shit like this. So nobody likes him. Like that's so it's kind of one thing. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. Whatever, all that bullshit. You don't get fooled again. on my cheek.
Can't
But
fool me because I already been fooled.
But so this is kind of his MO. He tried to start it with Connor and Connor just fucking shot him down.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is that guy? That's what you are, Jeremy Stevens, and that's what you're gonna be. Because guess what? Nobody saw you fight.
Nobody goes.
All right, well, let's keep rolling. Obviously, the nightmare.
Yeah, this is you guys. I only tuned in for him to knock out Askren, so I don't see the card. Or
First off, before we get into my opinions on the main event,
get some screwball.
what the fuck is Triller? What is that?
It's
thing?
Thriller misspelled.
There's no thrills, and it was from it seemed like a college dorm party to a rave to the dark carnival.
Well, how old is Jake Paul?
23 or something.
I mean, come on, he fits the bill, right?
He don't own Triller. That's a whole different company. He doesn't hire those people. Yeah. That's not his company or nothing like that. I believe they are owned by Fight.
No idea who owns it.
Or if somebody bought Fight. I think they bought Fight.
I don't even know how these guys are famous. Jake and Logan, but they do some social
he
media
was on
shit.
Disney.
Yes, one of them. Or both
Jake was on Disney.
And then TikTok, I think.
Yeah.
No, not TikTok.
YouTube.
Vine.
YouTube too.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't.
But yeah, they're internet guys. But again, they both were on Disney. I know Jake was on Disney for sure. So they
I
really.
have been seeing a few episodes of Jake Paul's or Logan Paul's podcast.
Logan seems a lot cooler than his brother. Let me just say that for one.
Well, he's he's got his podcast. He had Ben Askren on
Right.
today.
Right.
It's like Nick and Aaron Carter.
I don't know which one's a cool one.
Neither. They're both fucked up. But like.
But yeah, there's the crazy shit going on. It went from weird reggaeton rappers boxing to Frank Mir to a Doja Cat concert. Then the Black Keys pop out. There's a fucking robot. Then fucking Oscar De La Hoya on all the drugs. Like, why pick one? Why pick one on
through Z?
everything? Called Frank Mir's fight the highest level of boxing. Like, what kind of damage
Oscar
does
De La
that
Hoya
do
is
to
a plug
boxing
nowadays.
has its great stars. Like, Canelo is the fucking man.
Yeah.
But the rest of that sport is kind of holding on by a thread. And you have a legend of your sport saying, this is the highest level of boxing. Right. Out of nowhere, Mario Lopez comes out. I don't know where the fuck he's at. You got Snoop Dogg smoking weed, blowing in Al Bernstein's face. You got fucking Pete Davidson just flat out said, "Hey, the check cleared. That's all I care about." And Jake Paul, he's a piece of shit. Like, but
that's what sells, right? That's entertainment value,
like,
right?
It was everything. The prime example we watched. I don't know who the fighters were, but there was that phantom low blow that ended with a guy getting on his
guy, was it not?
No, that was not.
It was Rockchev.
This was the co-main.
Right.
A liver punch puts him down. He ends like he's his balls. His wife's sitting there yelling at the fighter for hitting him in the balls. Like,
he's laying there. She comes to the ring
and she's cursing out the guy for punching him. Don't be hitting my man's dick.
That shit's got to stand up tonight.
Like, I'm trying to fuck, dog. But
cocaine in the world.
And then it turns out it was a liver blow. And then it goes to a Bieber concert. All this while my 6-year-old's sitting next to me, and he just goes and goes, "Dad, what is this?" Like, he watches WWE, everybody.
He watches some weird shit.
He watches WWE and all kinds of weird gaming videos on YouTube, and he's looking at this like, what the fuck is going on?
That's bad.
And then we get to the main event, which I think this was a fucking work. Like, I don't think he was a fake punch or even legit.
It's not a fake punch.
No, he fucking clocked him. But
he turned his lights out.
There was an agreement that give me one good shot, I'll take it. I'll walk home.
How deep into the first round was it?
Like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Barely anything. I'll take this easy paycheck. I'll be all right. You knock me down. And that's like the worst case scenario in my book. The best case scenario, that ref had a bad stoppage.
I think a nice telling sign is the video you sent how happy his
his
wife was walking him back.
And they're both walking away smiling and happy like it's the best day of their life.
She didn't seem concerned.
Neither one of them did.
That kind of was kind of like made me think maybe
listen,
Mike's right.
After Masvidal like stiff board you for 2
Right.
minutes, I don't know. I think she was probably like, "Oh, this isn't going to be as bad as the last."
I don't know.
one.
She had a smile on her face, and she's like, "Man,
like why?" And then you
it's
start
red penny night for her. Maybe.
Then you start, yeah, for sure. Then you start to think like, what is in it for Ben Askren to fight an 8-round fight?
Well, so leading up to it, Ben was on Logan Paul's podcast. I've been watching a lot of lead up to it, and Ben was always like, what happens if he knocks you out? And Ben's like, I go to work on Monday. Like, it's no big deal, whatever. He never had this like. he was not worried about losing. He kind of felt like if he was going to lose, it was no big fucking deal. And I don't know. Just looking back on that, it's like, oh, well, you just don't have the desire to want to win this. Clearly, Jake wants to win this fight. So, I mean, I think
like
everybody thought Ben was
it
gonna
wasn't
win
that
this fight.
hard of a punch, though, either. Come on.
I mean,
it was a right
look
cross.
At, like, the Robbie Lawler fight.
Yeah.
Like, he got whooped out way harder.
And he was fine.
Right, and he kept going. I mean, I thought that fight should have been stopped.
Like, let me eat one. We'll make it look good. And we both go home happy.
Well, so that's
I'm asking. I've been punched in the face 1,000,000 times. What's one more?
Well, so that's the thing is like, what if it was, all right, listen, you're going to get punched. You're going to go down. We're going to make the ref stop it so I get the win.
And you have an argument.
You got the excuse it was stopped too soon,
I watched pro wrestling too, and that shit seemed like a fucking word. The ref, if you look during the announcements, the refs look like, fuck, what? He looked depressed before the fight started.
Yeah.
Like, he just looked like, I got to do this shit.
Well, he was probably like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, what is this? There's a fucking dancing robot going on.
You got to revamp boxing, right?
So, that being said, I tweeted this out and actually got some nice little traction with it. I have no interest in Jake Paul or Triller or anything ever again. Like, I don't care who it is. I don't want to see him get beat up. I don't want to see him win. I just watching that was one of those things that I'm glad I did for one night. Like, I'm glad I saw that and I was a part of that. I saw that travesty, but I want to watch it again. It's like watching Soul Plane. Like, I'm glad I watched Soul Plane, but I want to rewatch it.
I mean, it's almost like when you see any one of these athletes transcend to the other sport, like when James Toney came across to fight Couture. But
at least those were legitimate fighters. When Tyson fought Roy Jones, they legit had a legit boxing match. It wasn't bullshit. They were, it wasn't like
those are two boxers, right? Two of the best boxers of all time. So
this was celebrity. If you go back, some of you, I might be a little bit older than people listening, but celebrity boxing on Fox, where they had like China versus Joey Buttafuoco, and they had like people, Todd Bridges versus Vanilla Ice. Yeah. That's what this was. That's exactly what this is.
That's what sells nowadays, though. It's like,
does it sell though?
I don't know. I want to see what the pay-per-view buys for this was.
A big Jake Paul's biggest fans are what? Fucking teenagers, early 20s, right?
They don't know who he was until all that. Look, I don't know who these guys were till boxing.
They don't buy shit.
Who the fuck are these guys?
You know what I mean? They don't buy anything. They stream. They're not paying for it. First off, they must don't have fucking money. Second, they know how to get the streams in. How much could this? They had superstar artists performing. Ben Askren got his 500,000. They had star commentators. There's a lot of money. They had the Mercedes Stadium in Atlanta. Yeah. There's a lot of money going out. How much is going to come in? How much can this last? I believe that this is going to be the next Fyre Fest. Like there's gonna be a big fucking crazy documentary that comes out about what comes out after Triller, after the story of Triller, the 6-part series. What the fuck was Triller?
Yeah,
I think that's what we're in the story for.
Triller.
Yeah,
Atlanta.
So what? Who's Jake Paul fighting next?
Dylan Dennis. It's gonna happen. Dylan Dennis was on fucking Flagrant 2 talking about it. He was supposed to have this fight, but Paul wanted to do it in April.
So you go from a wrestler to a submission specialist.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care. I don't care who it is. He can fight fucking Mike Tyson. I wouldn't want to see it. I'll fucking see the highlight. It'll be all over Twitter when I'm going through my timeline, and I'll see the knockout if it happens. Yeah, I don't care no more. I kind of had
$50.
I had 2 screens going, but I was kind of taking attention away from fucking Robert Whitaker to see this shit.
Yeah, you missed out.
Like I was watching both. Like I had them both going on, but I wasn't giving 100% to what Robert Whitaker was doing because I kind of obviously for the show, and I wanted to know what's going on. It's part of the world that we're in, and it was fucking terrible.
Yeah,
and I love shit shows.
Watching both of them, but I definitely anytime there was like musical performance, I wasn't watching.
Like I watched my 600-pound life. It's better than this. It's better than this.
We enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome. I'll watch some shit TV. Don't get me wrong.
All right, let's keep rolling. Bellator 257.
This is Mike's right here.
So this run of Bellator, this is one of the better cards for sure. The light heavyweight Grand Prix kind of took center stage with Nemkov versus Davis main eventing, and Anderson. I'm not going to try to say that name, but Corey Anderson looked really fucking good in his fight instead of Vadim Nemkov. Nemkov, you kind of mentioned it. I don't know if you said it on air or just said it to me in conversation. Might be the best light heavyweight in the world. And he may. Well, he may be.
I said he's going to win this, and then if he wins this, he needs to come to the UFC.
Maybe. He might be making more money over there. Who knows?
Maybe. If that's the only hang up, I get it. But
there was some legit.
He's good. He's good.
There were some fun fights early in this card.
There's the
Paul Daly fight was outstanding. Yeah. It was just fucking.
I heard that was
chaos,
a back and forth one.
Back and forth chaos, is throwing haymakers left and right, and Semtex still got it. He had that left hand.
What a fucking great name.
He had that left hand. It fucking lands and night.
Takes me back to GoldenEye 007 on 64. The Semtex grenades, the sticky grenades.
I do now. Bellator kind of boasts that they have the best light heavyweight division, and I'm watching this Grand Prix. I'm kind of agreeing with them a little bit. The UFC light heavyweight division, I shit on it, and I still will shit on it. That's the reason I thought Izzy would come up and win, because I think it's a shit division.
It's just such a bad weight division all around.
Right, but the guys in the Bellator are legit. Corey Anderson's no slouch, right? Phil Davis is not a slouch either. He's only had like 3 or 4 losses, right? You had Nemkov, who looks like he's the cream of the crop. If he had a fight versus Juan, he'd probably be the underdog, but I'd probably bet Vadim. That's the way I look at it, because I think he's that good. He's on that level for sure. You got Ryan Bader, two division champion. You have Rumble and Yoel. So that division is pretty fucking stacked for 205. Even a guy like Machida. Machida's a low end guy.
There's lots of people that had their time in the sun.
Like
in UFC.
But if you think of guys like Rakic is like top 3, come on. You got Santos, who had a great performance against Jones, but guess what? He's a middleweight. Jan's a career middleweight too. Like there's that. Teixeira's got a title shot at 50 years old.
Yeah.
That 205.
The light heavyweight division is weak in the UFC right now.
Right. So I really think that Bellator can kind of fucking say, you know what? I have the best 205 division. They can say it, and I love the shit on Bellator. And also, we learned on Bellator that fighting's not genetic, because Vadim Nemkov's brother
Victor Nemkov fucked my parlay.
Yeah, he looked like shit.
I had like a 10-fight parlay, and he busted it.
He got beat like a fucking drum. JJ Wilson came out, looked great against Pedro Carvajal, who fucking was in the featherweight Grand Prix.
He used to be the champ, did he not?
Yeah, and JJ Wilson came out like a beast. He grappled in round 1, explosive, looked great. That's totally won the grappling exchange. And then round 2 comes out and does a crazy spinning back fist and rocks Carvalho and just fucking pounds him out. Granted, good fight. And then one other fight I want to touch on is Mads Burnell. Who did he fight again? Saul Raj.
Saul was on the Ultimate Fighter.
Right, and Mads Burnell lost to somebody in the UFC, I forget. But Mads Burnell looked fucking legit in that fight. And one of my new favorite fighters is, let's go out, what's his name real quick? Raymond Daniels. That is a fun guy to watch fight. He kind of has that Wonder Boy karate style. Does some crazy shit. Look up Raymond Daniels highlights. You'll see some crazy fucking knockouts. But he showed he had some grappling chops in that fight as well too. So again, this was of my Bellator dive I've been doing these last few weeks. This is the card I had the most fun watching for sure. And Bellator is better than fucking one.
Yeah, one's had a shitty fucking run though.
Although Lee looked really good.
Yeah, they had another DQ though on that card, didn't they?
Yeah, but Lee looked they did. Lee looked really fucking good. I don't know how good his opponent was. He was up there, obviously, but Lee looked fucking legit. He's a legit lightweight. He's young, too. He's like 22, 23 years old. Yeah, so we're going to see him at
Misha Tate has abandoned ship, so something's going on with that, with one.
I mean, I think it's kind of topped out. It's weird. Like, they put their main events in the middle of the card. Well, because it's not live. Like, it's not coming on live. Because it's in Singapore. So that they I
think they have a lot of just sourcing talent, too.
It was so weird. It was so funny because they had the Christian Lee fight for the lightweight title in the middle of the card, all kinds of confetti and fireworks going off, and then the next fight, there's nothing on the floor, just because it wasn't sequential to the night. So it's a weird experience watching it. I do though enjoy watching the Muay Thai. It's really fun to see that. Hopefully they're gonna get more jiu-jitsu. They do jiu-jitsu in one. They do all martial arts in one. So when Gordon Ryan gets over there, starts doing some jiu-jitsu, I love to see that. You know,
you gotta go to Thailand and watch some Muay Thai fights, man.
Well, I got Rotang. That this week, not on 2. UFC 1 on TNT 1. That dude Rotang, that motherfucker is a beast. That was one of the most fun I've watched. It's all the parts that I always talk shit about.
Takes the punches, right?
Muay Thai is basically, I'm always like stand them up. That's what Muay Thai is. It's MMA all the stand up, none of the grappling.
It's the art of 8 limbs.
Right. It's that is where I find my value in one.
Muay Thai is fucking.
I see
legit,
plenty of
dude.
MMA during the fucking week.
They're saying,
See stuff like that.
If you could like pick any striking, they would say it'd be Muay Thai. Like Muay Thai.
No, what's the fucking Lethway?
What is it?
Lethway? Is it with the headbutts? The one in like Myanmar?
Oh,
in
Myanmar.
Burma?
Well, headbutt is like the most legitimate strike you can do.
Yeah,
right?
but Lethway they do it. Headbutts
Yeah.
are legal. It's Muay Thai with headbutts.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I have to check that one out.
Yeah, it's like I think it's LETHWE or something like that. It's like Lethway.
Throw some Muay Thai with some wrestling or BJJ, you're good to go.
Yeah, but yeah, it was a again. If you are a fight fan, even that fucking shit show that happened in that Triller, there's so much going on in the world. You are set. PFL's coming out. I'm gonna watch some of that.
Yeah, we got Pettis coming up, right?
Yeah, Pettis fighting. We got
Clarissa Shields.
We got Clarissa Shields coming up. There's a lot of yeah. Was she in May or June? She in May or June? But yeah, a lot of fun stuff going on in the fucking fight game this summer.
They just announced, Jan Blachowicz versus Teixeira.
Right.
Battle of the old dudes at light heavyweight.
66.
Oh, it's actually on pay per view.
Yeah, I mean, I think Jan wins this fight.
I hope Jan.
I don't
wins
see
this
why
fight.
he doesn't win this fight. I think he's just as good and better.
A little bit away on that one.
Everywhere it goes.
Yeah, 'cause these old motherfuckers got to heal up.
Yeah, he just had a baby too. Jan did, right?
I think the problem with Glover is he got to the UFC late.
Yeah, maybe.
He climbed his way. Like he had already had lots of wars in. When he got to fight Jones that first time, he kind of shit the bed, and I've kind of been turned off to Glover ever since then. When he fought Jones, and like it wasn't that he lost to John Jones. Obviously, everybody does. He just looked like
He's like the light heavyweight JDS kind of.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, but he did fucking manhandle fucking Santos. So
He's manhandled a few guys.
UFC needs John to win this fight. If Jan Blachowicz loses this fight, not only does it fuck that division, it fucks up Izzy. It fucks up Izzy.
40-something-year-old champion.
Yeah, it makes Izzy look even worse. So like Jan, you need to win
this
fight for the UFC.
I'm kind of leaning Whitaker in the rematch if it happens.
No.
I think he does. I think he just make a few corrections.
A few corrections. He got knocked out like
take him down. He'll take him down. He'll wrestle more.
I don't think he can get him down.
He will.
Jan struggled to get him down.
He'll get him down.
He's got good takedown defense.
He'll get him down.
I don't think so. But anyway, yeah, I think Jan takes this fight. I hope Jan wins that fight for sure. I'm a guy who wanted Jan to lose more than anything else last time.
Kind of a slow week. I mean, I think Dustin Poirier is kind of like pretty much said he jumped the gun on the Conor shit with the charity thing. I don't know what that is. If he ended up getting the money, or if things are still in the works. I don't know what he is, but he kind of nagged on his previous statement.
I don't see bank statements or transaction reports, but if Conor did stiff him on that fucking $500,000, he's a piece of shit.
You didn't read the terms and conditions. Terms and conditions was not to knock me the fuck out.
Don't fucking say that in public. Again, maybe he did. Maybe like his team didn't like what they saw. I don't know the ins and outs of this, so I'm not gonna go out and say he flirted. But if he just stiffed that fucking bill, you are a piece of shit. There's
he's throwing dollies at buses and shit, dude. Man, I mean, come on.
That's whatever. You're hitting other dudes or whatever. You're hitting dudes in the fight world.
Well, I heard Khabib donated $100,000.
Right, some other people did too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would have done the same thing in Poirier's position.
Yeah.
Conor starts talking shit. Go, motherfucker, you owe me $500,000. What are you doing?
It's kind of exposing Conor, though, not because of the donation. That's just funny, but like the fight is off. Like what? No.
Conor's just like that, though, dude. Conor's like here 1 minute, down here the next.
Like
minute.
he's on a fucking crunch machine at Planet Fitness. I'm a beast. I'm a monster. Like, dude, you're not doing anything. A crunch machine does nothing. What are you fucking doing?
What's like? What has he got? The McGregor Fast program, though, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like what we work, but with heart rate zones and.
You're a fucking little leprechaun, dude. You're not that fucking big and bad motherfucker. You are rich as fuck, and you are a great promoter.
Dude, like, he is literally the example of, like, being in the right place at the right time. Like, stars in line. Like, I'm really convinced. Like, he got Holloway early in his career. He got Poirier early in his career.
But not only that, you seize your moments. When he got Aldo.
Yeah.
He got Aldo.
He got Aldo, yeah.
But he struck when he had to strike. He was there. He made it. He got Chad Mendez. He made it happen when he's
got some legitimate wins.
When he got his fucking opportunities, he hit. That's what he hit, and he cashed those out.
But like he is just on the downturn, though, man. Like he's gotta.
Well, he's gonna fight Jake fucking Paul. That's gonna be it. He's gonna lose to Dustin Poirier and then fight Jake Paul.
It's all money for Conor. You think?
I think.
Yeah, I don't think he can make the corrections in that amount of time.
No, I mean.
Like, how do you create those habits?
Passed
like
him by.
old habits die hard, man.
How old is Conor now?
31, 32.
He's not super old, but I just think the game has passed him by. He's not balls deep in fighting anymore. That's not what he is. He's everything else. He still has that lethal left hand.
He's got lots of other things going on.
Like he's not like how.
Yeah, but all these lightweights and welterweights are taking that left hand.
Right.
The featherweights couldn't take it, sure.
Right. You
But
walk.
these lightweights and welterweights are taking it.
In the last
Except Eddie
5-6 years, what he has 2 fights.
Yeah.
3 if you count Cowboy. I forgot Cowboy. Like 3 fights.
Yeah, he hasn't had a real legitimate welterweight fight. I don't care what he says. He fought 2 lightweights at welterweight.
He fought Diaz.
He fought Diaz and Cerrone, both lightweights.
Diaz is a welterweight.
150. They fought, dude. The majority of his fights are 155.
That's only because his brothers are welterweight.
Yeah, but
He only cut that weight.
I want to see him fight a true welterweight.
No, Nate Diaz. Trust me, that's the reason why Nate Diaz does not want. Nate Diaz.
Yeah, same thing.
He's over 6 feet
Oh,
tall.
we didn't talk about that. Diaz is fighting
Leon.
Leon Edwards.
Yeah.
Edwards smokes him.
Yeah. I don't.
Edwards is big for 170, dude. That motherfucker.
Although, do you see that Jake Paul said he would finish Nate Diaz in 3 rounds?
That bitch is crazy.
I don't see that happening.
No,
I don't see that.
that ain't.
And I honestly think Nate Diaz will fucking end up choking him. Like I don't think Nate Diaz will stick to the.
That'd be too
strip.
high to forget the rule set.
No, I don't think he's a fuck. Like, did you see when Nate Diaz and fucking Nick and fucking Gilbert beat the fuck out of Mayhem when he hopped into the Strikeforce cage?
Yeah.
Like Nate Diaz not give a fuck. Nate Diaz punked fucking Brandon Shaw backstage at the Conor fight.
Yeah.
Like Nate Diaz, if he gets pissed, he's just gonna say, "I'm gonna fuck this dude up. I don't care."
Stockton, baby.
Yeah, he don't give a fuck.
Stockton slap.
Yeah, that's why Jake won't pick that fucking fight.
Well, I guess that's it for this week.
Yeah, it's a little bit slower week.
So
follow us on the socials, and we may or may not do a live.
we
one
definitely
next
will be
week.
live streaming the UFC 4 on Saturday. I'm not sure when the card starts. An hour before the prelims start, we'll be on there playing out the main card. Should be a fun one. I shouldn't have to create any fighters. I don't think. I think everybody's in that game finally for once.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll be playing it out. Tony, we haven't kept the score, but Tony's up, I believe.
Yeah.
I think you're up by like 3.
Tony's
fights.
always
Not
up.
wearing his fancy shirt.
No, Saturday I will be though.
I think what is it like?
I got a good one Saturday.
Like 3 or 4 fights up, but we go back and forth during these fucking things. It's fun to watch as long as my fucking family doesn't distract me.
Oh, that's great.
But yeah, maybe we do a live fight companion. We'll see.
If not, catch a Sunday. We'll
For
be
sure.
here.
We're definitely going to do a podcast about it. See all that stuff. We'll have our whiskey and wagers, our DraftKings picks all week long. Again, In the Guard 1 on Twitter. We have our Facebook page.
Instagram In the Guard.
We have InTheGuardPodcast.com. Go to them. Say what's up. Give a thumbs up. Like,
Holler at
tweet,
us.
all that shit.
Let us know what you're thinking.
Thumbs up the video, too. Help us in that fucking algorithm.
Yeah.
How about that?
Tapping out.
Peace.
Peace.